Ethan Miller adjusted his thin-framed glasses and checked his watch. 6 in the morning. The Linden Cafe had just opened, and he wanted to be the first customer. Not out of impatience or privilege, though as the new owner he certainly had the right, but because he preferred to observe the establishment waking up for the day. His face, now sporting 3 days of stubble, wasn't recognizable to the staff. The man who had closed the deal was someone else, his lawyer, who had handled everything in his name. Ethan, at 35, cultivated the habit of knowing every detail of his ventures before officially taking control. This method had allowed him to turn a small business inherited from his father in the Midwest into a network of successful, high-end establishments across the country. The Linden Cafe was his latest acquisition, a traditional institution in the heart of the Upper East Side, which had been losing customers to sleek, modern coffee shops. It was a diamond in the rough that Ethan intended to polish, but first he needed to understand why a place with so much potential was sinking. The cafe door creaked lightly when Ethan pushed it open. The air smelled of freshly ground coffee and warm scones coming out of the oven. The dark wood tables matched the floor, and the terracotta-toned walls gave the place a welcoming feel. He chose a table in the corner, where he could observe the entire room. The soft morning light streamed through the wide windows, creating golden patterns on the floorboards. A waitress emerged from behind the counter. She wore the cafe uniform, black slacks, a white shirt, and a burgundy apron tied at the waist. Her brown hair was pulled back in a simple bun, and she carried a notepad. There was something in her eyes that caught Ethan's attention, a weariness that seemed to go beyond the early hour. But there was also a quiet dignity there, a silent strength he hadn't expected to find. "Good morning, welcome to the Linden Cafe," she said with a smile that seemed practiced. Ethan noted the name tag pinned to her apron. "Chloe Davis, good morning. A coffee, please. Black, no sugar." Chloe jotted down the order. "Anything to go with that. We have fresh scones." "Just the coffee, thank you." As she walked away, Ethan surveyed the room. 2 employees were arranging the tables near the windows. At the counter, a middle-aged man was organizing cups with sharp movements, shooting impatient glances at the staff. His gestures were those of someone who enjoyed wielding authority, each movement deliberate to demonstrate power over others. Moments later, Chloe returned with a steaming mug. As she placed it on the table, she let out an almost inaudible murmur. Ethan leaned his head forward, straining to hear. The words were so low they seemed to be spoken only to herself, like an involuntary sigh escaping when the burden became too great. "Did you say something?" Ethan asked, adjusting his glasses. Chloe froze. Her eyes widened slightly, as if she had been caught red-handed. "No, sir." "I apologize." Ethan noticed her discomfort. "I'm certain I heard something." She pressed the notepad against her chest, hesitated, then quickly glanced at the man at the counter. "It was nothing, sir. Enjoy your coffee." When she turned to leave, Ethan called out again. "Is everything all right?" "You seem troubled." Chloe bit her lower lip. Ethan noticed a small scar above her right eyebrow. There was a tension in her shoulders that contrasted with the calm she tried to project. "I really shouldn't," she started but was interrupted. "Chloe." The voice of the man at the counter cut through the air. "Table 3 needs wiping down." "Coming, Todd," she replied, straightening her shoulders. Ethan noticed the change in her posture, the way she braced herself to face each interaction, like a soldier arming for battle. "Does he always speak to you that way?" The question caught Chloe off guard. She looked at Ethan with curiosity, as if trying to understand why a customer would care. "We have a lot of demanding clientele around here," she answered diplomatically. "That didn't answer my question." Ethan insisted, keeping his voice low. Something in his tone, perhaps the genuine concern, made Chloe hesitate. The cafe was almost empty at that hour, and Todd was busy reprimanding another employee. "Just another day in hell," she finally said. "That's what I murmured." "I apologize, it wasn't professional." Ethan raised his eyebrows. "The work here is that bad?" She looked away, regretting the confession. "I shouldn't have said that. The cafe has its good moments. I'm good at noticing when someone is being sincere, and you aren't being sincere right now." A sigh escaped Chloe's lips. "You're new here, aren't you? I've never seen you before." Just passing through, Ethan replied, keeping his identity a secret. But I'm interested in people, not places. Chloe, table 3, Todd shouted again with more impatience this time. I have to go, she said, taking a step back. Wait. Ethan lightly touched her wrist, immediately pulling his hand away. If you could change one thing here, what would it be? The question surprised her. No one had ever asked her opinion about the cafe. She was silent for a moment, processing the strangeness of the conversation. There was something different about this man. He wasn't just another morning customer. Why do you want to know? Let's just say I have a curiosity about business, Ethan replied vaguely. Chloe hesitated, then looked around to ensure no one was nearby. I'd change almost everything. Be specific, Ethan requested, suddenly interested not just in the waitress, but in what she could reveal about the establishment he had just acquired. The managers treat employees as disposable, she said, lowering her voice. We're humiliated daily, especially the women. The last one who complained was dismissed with some flimsy excuse. We work double shifts without overtime, and if anyone gets sick, they're threatened. Todd is only one of the problems. And the owner? Ethan asked, leaning in slightly. A bitter expression crossed Chloe's face. No one knows who he is. We just heard the cafe was sold recently. Probably some corporate type who only cares about profit and will never set foot in here, just like all the others. Her words hit him like a slap. Ethan straightened in his chair, taking a sip of coffee to mask his discomfort. The liquid was bitter, but not as much as the reality he had just uncovered. Chloe! Todd's voice echoed again, this time laced with thinly veiled menace. I have to go, she backed away quickly. Ethan watched her as she cleaned a table near the window. Her movements were efficient, but her shoulders were tense. He noticed how she flinched when Todd walked past, as if expecting retaliation at any moment. For the next hour, he stayed there, observing the dynamics of the cafe. He saw how Todd treated the team, the biting comments, the looks of contempt. He saw how the employees moved like automatons, doing only what was necessary to avoid trouble. When he finished his coffee, Ethan left a generous note on the table and walked out without a word. But his mind was already working. He had seen enough to know that the problem wasn't just modern competition or location. The problem was human, and Chloe, unknowingly, had given him the first piece of the puzzle he needed to solve. 3 days later, Ethan returned to the Linden Cafe. This time, he arrived in the middle of the afternoon, when business was more intense. He wanted to see how the team handled the peak hour pressure. He chose a different table near the counter, where he could better observe the interactions. Chloe recognized him immediately. Her eyes widened for a second before she composed herself. She approached him with the same professional smile, but there was something different in her gaze. To her curiosity that wasn't present at their first meeting. You came back, she said simply. The coffee was good, Ethan replied. But I thought I'd try something else today. Chloe handed him the menu. I recommend the carrot cake. It's the only recipe here that's truly worthwhile. The only one? Ethan raised an eyebrow. She shrugged. The previous owners cut costs on everything. Cheap ingredients, simplified recipes. The carrot cake survived because I make it myself, using my grandmother's recipe. So I pay for the ingredients out of my own pocket. Ethan was genuinely surprised. Why would you do that? Because I need to maintain some pride in what I do, she replied with raw honesty. If everything here is mediocre, then I am too. At least one thing has to be good. Then I'll have the carrot cake and a coffee. As Chloe walked away, Ethan watched how she navigated between the tables. There was a natural grace in her movements, despite the evident fatigue. She knew how to anticipate customers' needs, solve small problems before they became complaints. She was the kind of employee any establishment should value, but here she was treated as replaceable. When Chloe returned with the order, Ethan noticed her hands trembling slightly as she placed the plate on the table. Is everything okay? She hesitated, then quickly looked at the counter. Todd wasn't in sight. Just a tough day, she admitted. Care to talk about it? With a stranger? She almost smiled. Sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers, Ethan said gently. We don't have shared histories, expectations, or judgments. Chloe looked at him more closely. There was something about this man that intrigued her. The way he asked questions, how he really seemed to care about the answers. It wasn't the casual interest of a bored customer. It was something deeper. "I lost my night shift today," she finally said. "Todd decided I was being too slow and sent me home early. Means I'll make less this week. He can do that?" "Technically, yes. The contracts here are vague enough to allow that sort of thing." Ethan felt the anger rise but kept his face neutral. "And you can't complain?" "To whom?" Chloe laughed without humor. "The previous owner never showed up. And the new one, well, no one knows who he is. The managers have free rein." Ethan tasted the cake. It was exceptional. Much better than he expected to find in a decaying cafe. "You should have your own place," he said sincerely. "With what money?" Chloe sat down for a moment in the empty chair, checking first that Todd wasn't around. "I've worked here for 3 years. I started as a cleaner and moved up to waitress. I try to save, but between rent, bills, and helping my mom, there's barely anything left at the end of the month." "You live alone?" "With my mom. She has health issues and can't work. I'm an only child." Chloe looked out the window as if seeing something distant. "I dreamed of going to culinary school. I even got a partial scholarship 2 years ago, but I had to turn it down. I couldn't juggle it with the shifts here, and my mom needed me." Her story was more common than Ethan would care to admit. Talent wasted by circumstances beyond a person's control. Potential suffocated by immediate needs. "Do you still want to go to culinary school?" Chloe's eyes lit up for a moment. "I do. I have notebooks full of recipes I've created, experiments I've done in my tiny kitchen. I dream of opening a place that serves real American comfort food, not the generic versions you see everywhere. Something that honors our regional traditions but with a modern touch." "Why American food specifically?" "Because it's who we are," she said with passion. "Every region has its stories, its flavors. My grandmother was from the Deep South, and my mother grew up in New England. I learned to cook from both of them. I feel like there's something powerful in preserving those memories through food." Ethan watched her as she spoke. This was the real Chloe, not the tired waitress, but the woman with dreams and passions. And he, unbeknownst to her, had the power to turn those dreams into reality. But first he needed to better understand the situation. "Chloe," Todd's harsh voice cut through the moment. "What are you doing sitting down? We have customers waiting." Chloe quickly stood up, the sparkle in her eyes extinguishing. "I'm sorry, sir," she said to Ethan formally before walking away. Ethan watched Todd approach. The manager looked at him with barely concealed disdain. "I hope my employee isn't bothering you, sir." "On the contrary," Ethan responded calmly. "She's excellent at what she does," Todd scoffed. "They're all the same. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile. She's lucky to still be working here." Ethan felt the urge to reveal his identity right there, to fire the man on the spot, but he restrained himself. There was a better way to handle this, a way that wouldn't just solve the immediate problem, but would change the entire culture of the place. For the rest of the afternoon, Ethan observed discreetly. He saw how Todd humiliated other employees, how he created an atmosphere of fear. He also saw how Chloe, despite everything, maintained her dignity. How she helped the newer colleagues, how she subtly defended other female employees when Todd went too far. When he finally left the cafe, Ethan had a plan forming in his mind. But he needed more information. He needed to understand not just the problems, but also the potential solutions, and Chloe unknowingly would be the key to everything. He called his lawyer as soon as he got into the car. "I need all the employee contracts for the Linden Cafe," he said, "and I want the financial records for the last 3 years on my desk tomorrow morning." "Is something wrong, Ethan? Let's just say I'm discovering I bought more than a cafe." "I bought responsibilities." He looked in the rearview mirror at the establishment. "And I intend to honor them." The following week, Ethan implemented the first phase of his plan. He called a meeting with all the managers of the Linden Cafe, but didn't reveal his identity yet. He sent his lawyer as a representative, instructing him to observe and record everything. Meanwhile, Ethan continued his visits to the cafe as a regular customer. Chloe began to expect him, always sparing a few minutes to talk when possible. Their conversations deepened. She spoke about her recipes, her dreams. He carefully asked questions about how she would improve the cafe if she had the chance. One rainy Thursday, Ethan entered the cafe and found Chloe with her face marked by a poorly concealed expression of distress. She served him mechanically without her usual warmth. "What happened?" Ethan asked as soon as she brought his coffee. Chloe looked around before answering. Todd announced today that he's cutting half the team at the end of the month. Said the new owner wants to reduce costs. We'll have to do 2 people's work for the same pay. And if someone refuses, she gave a bitter laugh, then they lose their job. That's how it works here. It always has. Ethan felt guilt clench his chest. He was the new owner, but he hadn't given any order for staff cuts. Todd was lying, using his name as an excuse to implement his own cruel decisions. Are you on the list? I don't know. No one knows. It's part of the torture, keeping everyone in the dark, anxious. Chloe rubbed her tired eyes. I'm trying to think of alternatives, other places to work, but the market is tough, and I need something that allows me to care for my mom. Can I help in any way? She stared at him in surprise. Why? You barely know me. Maybe that's exactly why, Ethan said softly. Sometimes strangers can see solutions that we can't see ourselves. Chloe looked at him with more attention. There was something about this man that intrigued her. The way he asked questions, how he really seemed to care about the answers. It wasn't the casual interest of a bored customer. It was something deeper. She finally sat down in the empty chair. You know what's most frustrating? She began, her voice low but intense. I could save this place. I see exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. The menu is bland, the ingredients are poor quality, the atmosphere is hostile. But I have ideas, so many ideas. This cafe could be amazing again. Why don't you share those ideas? With whom? Todd would laugh in my face. The former owners never listened to me. And the new one, well, he probably doesn't even know I exist. Ethan made a decision at that moment. It was time to start revealing his hand, albeit slowly. What if he did know? What if the new owner was interested in hearing your ideas? Chloe looked at him with skepticism. How would you know that? Let's say I have some contacts in the business world. I could try to open a door for you. She studied his face, looking for signs of falsehood. There was something about this man that didn't fit. The way he talked about business, the confidence in his words. Who are you, really? Just someone who recognizes talent when he sees it, Ethan replied, avoiding the direct question. But I need you to trust me. If I can arrange a meeting with someone who can make a difference here, would you be willing to present your ideas? Chloe hesitated. It was too good to be true, and she had learned to distrust easy promises. But there was something in this man's eyes, a sincerity she couldn't ignore. If this is real, if there's really a chance, then yes. I'm willing. Great. Ethan took a card from his pocket and wrote down a number. Call me tomorrow night. I'll have information for you. Chloe took the card, her fingers briefly brushing his. Why are you doing this? Because I believe good people deserve opportunities, he replied simply. That night, Ethan worked late in his office. He reviewed all the contracts, all the financial records. What he discovered enraged him. Todd had been skimming money for months, falsifying receipts, paying phantom suppliers. The cafe wasn't just sinking due to poor management. It was being actively sabotaged. But there was more. He discovered that Chloe had an impeccable record. 3 years without a single unjustified absence, no customer complaints with several positive mentions. She was the most stable employee the cafe had, and Todd treated her like dirt. Ethan called his lawyer. I need you to prepare termination papers for cause for Todd Mason, he said. And new contracts for all employees with better conditions. I want this ready in 48 hours. Are you going to reveal your identity? Not entirely yet. Ethan looked out his office window at the lights of the city. But it's time to start making real changes. The next day, Chloe called at the agreed time. Ethan answered immediately. Hello, Chloe. Did you manage something? Her voice was filled with cautious hope. I arranged a meeting with someone very important. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. He'll want to hear your ideas on how to improve the cafe. Tomorrow? She gasped. But I don't have anything prepared, no formal presentation. You don't need formalities. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. Trust me. Where will the meeting be? Ethan gave her the address of a discreet restaurant in a less conspicuous neighborhood. It's a quiet place. You'll like it. After she hung up, Chloe stared at the phone in her hands. Her heart pounded. This could change everything, or it could just be another disappointment. But she had to try. For her dreams, for her mother, for all the years she had spent being invisible in that cafe. On the night of the meeting, Chloe dressed carefully. She didn't have expensive clothes, but she chose her best dress, simple but elegant. She pinned her hair up differently, letting a few loose strands frame her face. When she looked in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. She was no longer just the tired waitress. She was a woman with a purpose. She arrived at the restaurant 15 minutes early. Ethan was already there, waiting at a reserved table in the back. When he saw her enter, he immediately stood up. She looked beautiful, and for the first time she seemed truly confident. "Ready to meet this important person?" Chloe asked, nervous. "Actually," Ethan said softly, "you already have." "It's me, Chloe. I'm the new owner of the Linden Cafe." The words fell between them like a bomb. Chloe stood completely still, processing the information. Then slowly her face went through a series of emotions. Surprise, confusion, anger, and finally comprehension. "You," she whispered. "It was you all along." Chloe took a step back as if she needed physical distance to process the revelation. "You lied to me. All this time you let me talk about the mysterious owner, about greedy corporate types who never show up, and it was you." "I didn't lie," Ethan said calmly. "I just didn't reveal the whole truth. There was an important difference he needed her to understand." "That's semantics," she retorted, her voice starting to tremble. "You made a fool of me, all those days pretending not to know who you were." "I wasn't pretending," Ethan took a step closer, maintaining a respectful distance. "Every conversation we had was genuine. Every word you said was important. That's exactly why I needed to hear them as a stranger, not as the owner." "Why?" Chloe crossed her arms, still processing the betrayal she felt. "Why all the theatrics?" "Because I needed the truth," he explained. "If I had walked in as the new owner, everyone would have told me what they thought I wanted to hear. The managers would have hidden the problems. The employees would have been afraid to speak. But as a regular customer, I saw the cafe as it truly is. I saw you as you truly are." "And what did you see?" she asked, her voice charged with emotion. "A desperate waitress you could manipulate." "I saw a talented woman being wasted," Ethan responded with intensity. "I saw someone with passion, creativity, and courage. I saw exactly the person I need to turn that cafe into what it should be." Chloe shook her head, still resisting. "How can I trust you now? How do I know this isn't just another manipulation?" "Because I'm going to prove it." Ethan pulled a folder onto the table. "These are new contracts for all the employees of the cafe. Better salaries, real benefits, fair hours. Todd will be fired for cause tomorrow, along with the other corrupt managers. And you, if you accept, will be promoted to general manager." Chloe took the folder with trembling hands. She leafed through the documents, her eyes widening with each page. "Is this real?" "As real as my intention to make that cafe work properly," he said. "But I don't just want a manager. I want someone who shares my vision. Someone who cares as much as I do." She looked at him with a mix of hope and fear. "Why me? There are experienced managers, people with formal training." "Because you understand what that place means," Ethan sat down, gesturing for her to do the same. "It's not just a business to you. It's a place where people work, where dreams can be realized or destroyed. You care about your colleagues, about quality, about doing the right thing. That's worth more than any degree." Chloe finally sat down, still clutching the folder as if it were a fragile treasure. "And if I accept, will I really have autonomy? Or will you control everything behind the scenes?" "Complete autonomy," Ethan promised. "I want your ideas, your recipes, your vision for the menu. I'll provide the resources, but you decide how to use them. Of course, we'll work together, but the final say on the day-to-day will be yours." She studied him for a long moment. There was sincerity in his gaze, but also something more. Her connection that had been forming since that first day, when he was just a curious customer. "This changes everything between us," she said softly. "Those conversations, that ease, it was all built on a lie." "It wasn't a lie," Ethan insisted. "It was the only way to get to know the real you. And now that you know who I am, you can decide if you want to be a part of this. No pressure, no games, just an honest offer." "I need time to think," Chloe said, standing up. "This is too big to decide now." "I understand," Ethan also stood up. "Take the folder. Read everything. If you have questions, call me. But I need an answer by tomorrow night. I'm going to start the changes either way, but they'll be much better with you." Chloe nodded and left the restaurant without looking back. Ethan watched her figure disappear into the night, wondering if he had made a terrible mistake or if he was about to do the right thing. That night, Chloe couldn't sleep. She stayed awake reading every word of the contracts, every proposed change. It was everything she had ever dreamed of, but coming from a person who had deceived her, or had he? The more she thought about it, the more she realized Ethan had never directly lied. He had simply not revealed everything. And his reasons, however frustrating, made sense. In the morning, she arrived at the cafe as usual. Todd was there, more arrogant than ever. "Chloe, conference room now," he ordered. She followed, her heart pounding. Inside the room, she found Todd and two other men she recognized as lawyers. This is it, she thought. I'm going to be fired. But it was Todd who received the news. The lawyers read the accusations of embezzlement, presented the evidence. Todd tried to argue, threaten, but it was useless. Within 15 minutes, he was being escorted out of the building. After Todd left, one of the lawyers turned to Chloe. "Ms. Davis, Mr. Miller would like to speak with you in his office. Ethan had an office here." She followed the lawyer to a room on the second floor she never knew existed. Ethan was there, now dressed formally, every trace of disguise removed. "So this is how you really are," Chloe said, observing him. "This is my professional version," Ethan admitted. "But the man who talked to you those mornings is also me. Just a more relaxed version." Chloe sat down uninvited. "I saw what you did to Todd. He was stealing from the cafe for months. He had to go," Ethan explained, "and the other managers too. They are already being replaced by competent and hopefully humane people. And what about me?" "That's up to you." He pushed an envelope across the table. "This is your contract if you want to sign, and this is a letter of resignation if you prefer to leave." He paused. "I won't force you into anything." Chloe took both documents. The contract promised a salary 3 times her current one, plus benefits, including a health plan that would cover her mother. The letter of resignation included generous severance and excellent references. He was genuinely giving her a choice. "Why the severance?" she asked. "If I quit, you don't owe me anything." "Because you deserve it," Ethan said simply. "For 3 years of unrecognized hard work, for all the wasted talent, for maintaining your dignity in impossible circumstances." Tears pricked Chloe's eyes. No one had ever valued her like this. No one had ever seen beyond the waitress. "Do you really believe in me?" "I do," he said with conviction. "But more importantly, I need you to believe in yourself, because transforming that cafe is going to be difficult. It will require courage, hard work, and tough decisions. I can't do it without someone who truly cares." Chloe wiped the tears and picked up a pen. "Where do I sign?" The first days after signing the contract were intense. Chloe took on her new role with a determination that surprised even Ethan. She gathered the entire team and presented the changes, not as orders from above, but as a new beginning for everyone. The reaction was one of palpable relief. Without Todd and his cronies, the cafe's atmosphere changed almost immediately. Ethan kept his word and gave Chloe complete autonomy. She started by revamping the menu, using those notebooks full of recipes she had mentioned. Artisan scones with different fillings, regional cakes made with quality ingredients, updated versions of classic American comfort food. Each item was tested, refined, and personally approved by her. They worked side by side, sometimes late into the night. Ethan learned to respect not only Chloe's talent, but her work ethic and her ability to lead. She was firm when necessary, but always fair. The employees began to see her not as a boss, but as an ally. One evening, while tasting a new recipe for a cranberry almond bread pudding, Ethan observed Chloe closely. She had flour on her face, and her hair was carelessly tied up, but there was a light in her eyes that hadn't been there before. "Are you happy?" he asked. Chloe looked around the renovated kitchen, then at him. "I'm fulfilled. It's different from happy, it's deeper. I feel like I'm finally doing what I was born to do. I'm glad I gave you that chance." She came closer, wiping her hands on her apron. "I need to confess something. I'm still processing what you did. The lie, or whatever you want to call it. Part of me still feels it was manipulation." Ethan nodded, understanding. "And you have every right to feel that way. It wasn't my most ethical decision. But," Chloe continued, "another part of me understands why you did it, and that part is grateful. Because if you had revealed yourself, none of this would have happened the same way. I would have been different, more guarded, more insecure. You needed to see who I really was before you could believe in me. And who you really are is extraordinary, Ethan said softly. There was a tension in the air between them, something that had been growing since that first day, a connection that went beyond boss and employee, beyond business partners. It was personal, intense, and complicated. We can't, Chloe said, taking a step back. You're my boss. This would be inappropriate. Technically, I'm the owner, Ethan corrected, but you're right. It would be complicated. He paused, then continued. But not impossible. Ethan, she sighed. All of this is already so much. The new job, the responsibility, the transformation of the cafe. I can't add another complication. I'm not asking for anything now, he said. I just want you to know that what I feel is not just professional respect. Since that first day when you murmured that it was just another day in hell, I saw something in you. Strength, honesty, passion. And the more I get to know you, the more I see. Chloe felt her heart race. She also felt that attraction, but she was afraid. Afraid of ruining what they were building. Afraid of being just another boss-employee story. We need to focus on the cafe, she said, her voice firm but gentle. Everything else can wait. Ethan agreed, though the disappointment was visible. You're right. The cafe comes first. In the following weeks, they maintained a careful professional distance, but the tension remained, palpable to anyone who watched them working together. The team started to notice, but respectfully didn't comment. The big test came when Chloe proposed a radical change. I want to do a relaunch event, she announced during a meeting. A whole weekend celebrating the new Linden Cafe. We'd invite food critics, bloggers, the local community. We'd show what we're capable of doing. Ethan considered the proposal. It's ambitious and risky. If it fails, we could lose credibility. That's why it will succeed, Chloe said with confidence. Trust me. Trust the team. We're ready. He looked around the table at the other team members. Everyone seemed excited, energized by Chloe's leadership. All right, he decided. Let's do it. But you're in charge. All decisions about the event are yours. Chloe smiled, that genuine smile Ethan had learned to value. I won't let you down. The preparations for the event consumed all their time. Chloe worked tirelessly, developing special dishes, training the team, coordinating every detail. Ethan watched from a distance, intervening only when she asked for help. He saw in her not only a competent manager, but a true leader. 3 days before the event, Chloe appeared in Ethan's office, visibly distraught. We have a problem, she said. The main supplier cancelled. Something about logistics issues. Without the specialty ingredients, half the special menu is going down the drain. Ethan immediately reached for the phone. I have contacts who can help. I'll resolve this. But Chloe interrupted him. No, let me handle it. This is my responsibility. You don't have to do everything alone, he said gently. I need to prove it to myself, she explained. For years, I've always had someone blocking my path. Now, when I have the chance to really lead, I can't rely on you to solve every crisis. Ethan understood. She was right. All right. But if you need help, let me know. Chloe spent the next 24 hours contacting alternative suppliers, negotiating, improvising. In the end, she found even better solutions than the original supplier. When she told Ethan, he couldn't hide his pride. You're incredible, you know that. I'm learning to believe it, she replied, tired but triumphant. On the night before the event, when everyone had left, Ethan found Chloe alone in the kitchen, making final adjustments. You should be resting, he said. I can't sleep when I'm like this, she admitted. My mind won't stop. Ethan approached, picking up a cup of coffee she had prepared. Can I keep you company? She nodded, and they stood there in comfortable silence for a while. Finally, Chloe spoke. Thank you, Ethan, for everything, for believing in me when no one else did, for giving me this chance. You don't need to thank me, he said. You deserve all of this and more. She looked at him, and in that moment, the professional distance they had maintained seemed smaller. The day after tomorrow, when the event is over, I think we should talk, she said softly. About us. About us? Ethan repeated, his heart accelerating. Because there is an us, isn't there? She said. We're pretending there isn't, keeping a professional distance, but we both know something is here. Yes, he admitted. There is something here. Something I've been trying to respect by keeping my distance. And I thank you for that, Chloe said. But maybe it's time we stopped running. After the event, When we've proven we can work together professionally, maybe we can explore what else there is between us." Ethan smiled, a smile full of hope and promise. "It's a deal." The day of the relaunch event dawned clear and sunny, as if the universe itself were conspiring in favor of the Linden Cafe. Chloe arrived before dawn, checking every detail one last time. The entire team was excited, wearing the new uniforms she'd helped design, elegant but comfortable, in tones that matched the cafe's renewed identity. Ethan observed everything from a discreet distance, amazed by the transformation. The cafe he had bought months ago, that place with a heavy atmosphere and demotivated employees, now vibrated with positive energy. The newly painted walls in more vibrant, earthy tones, the restored furniture, the carefully chosen plants. Everything created a cozy yet sophisticated atmosphere. At 10 in the morning, when the doors opened, the first guests began to arrive. Chloe greeted them personally, explaining the concept behind each dish, the history of each recipe. Ethan noticed how she shone in that role, confident and passionate. This was no longer the tired waitress who murmured about hellish days. She was a fulfilled woman, doing exactly what she was born to do. The food critic sampled every item on the special menu: the artisan scones with unique fillings, the creamy cornmeal cake with a rich glaze, the savory bread pudding with regional cheese, the sandwiches celebrating regional ingredients. Each dish told a story, honored a tradition, but had Chloe's unique touch. Throughout the morning, Ethan circulated among the guests, observing reactions. He saw smiles of surprise and approval, heard positive comments, and noticed critics taking enthusiastic notes. But the most important moment came when an elderly woman with white hair tasted Chloe's signature carrot cake. "My dear," the woman called to Chloe, tears in her eyes, "this cake is identical to the one my grandmother used to make, not just in taste but in soul." "How did you do it?" Chloe knelt beside the woman. "It's my grandmother's recipe too. I learned from her when I was a child. Every cake I make carries that memory, that love." The woman embraced Chloe, and in that moment Ethan understood the true value of what she was doing. It wasn't just about food or business. It was about preserving memories, connecting people, creating moments of true humanity amidst the chaos of the big city. In the afternoon, when the rush subsided a bit, Ethan finally managed a moment alone with Chloe in the kitchen. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "Like I'm floating," she admitted, her eyes sparkling. "It's working, Ethan. People are understanding what I tried to create here. Of course they are, because it's genuine. It's you." At that moment, one of the most respected food critics in the city walked into the kitchen. "Ms. Davis, I need a word with you." Chloe straightened her shoulders, preparing for the professional verdict. "Yes, sir. I've been in the culinary business for 30 years, the critic began. I've seen hundreds of establishments try to do what you're doing here, mixing tradition with innovation. Most fail because they focus on only one aspect, either too traditional and dull or too modern and soulless. But you've achieved the perfect balance." Chloe could barely breathe. "Thank you, sir. I'll be writing a review for my column in the magazine. It will be published next week." The critic smiled. "Prepare to be very busy after that." When the critic left, Chloe turned to Ethan, stunned. "Did that really just happen?" "It happened," he confirmed, pulling her into a spontaneous hug. "You deserve every word of that praise." She slowly pulled away, suddenly aware they were embracing in the middle of the kitchen. "I'm sorry, I didn't—" "Don't apologize," Ethan said softly. "I'm proud of you, Chloe. Not as your boss or as the cafe's owner, as someone who cares deeply about you." The event continued until late afternoon, a resounding success. When they finally closed the doors, the entire team celebrated. Chloe gave a toast, thanking everyone for their hard work and dedication. "We did this together," she said. "This cafe is ours, all of ours." Later, when everyone had gone, Ethan and Chloe were alone in the silent cafe. He grabbed 2 glasses of champagne he had saved for that moment. "A private toast?" he offered. Chloe accepted the glass. "What are we toasting to?" "To new beginnings," Ethan said, "and to having the courage to be honest about what we truly want." She looked at him for a long moment, then smiled. "You know, I spent months angry with you for that initial lie, for not revealing who you were from the beginning. And now I understand that if you had revealed it, none of this would have happened the same way." I would have been different, more guarded, more insecure. You needed to see who I really was before you could believe in me. And I needed to see who you really were before I could trust you. Ethan set his glass on the table. Chloe, these last few months working with you have been the most important of my professional life, but they have also been the most challenging personally, because with each passing day, it gets harder to maintain just a professional relationship. She took a step towards him. Then don't maintain it. We're alone now. No external pressures, no events to coordinate. Just Ethan and Chloe. He took her hand gently. You need to know that I don't see you as an employee. I see you as a partner, as an equal. The cafe might be mine, but you brought it to life. Without you, it's just a space. With you, it's magic. And I need you to know, Chloe said, intertwining her fingers with his, that I'm not here out of gratitude or obligation. I'm here because I want to be. Because at some point between those morning conversations and the nights working side by side, I fell in love with the man who saw potential in me when I doubted myself. Ethan gently pulled her close. Can I kiss you? In response, Chloe closed the distance between them. The kiss was soft at first, hesitant but quickly deepened, filled with all the feelings they had repressed for so long. When they finally separated, both were smiling. So, Ethan said, still holding her, about that conversation you mentioned. The conversation about us. I think we just had it, Chloe laughed. But there are details to resolve. How do we make this work without compromising what we've built professionally? By establishing clear boundaries, he suggested. In the cafe, we're partners. You continue to have total autonomy over operations. Outside the cafe, we are whatever we want to be. That sounds reasonable, she agreed. What about the team? We'll be honest with them, Ethan said. Not now, it's still too new. But eventually, when we're certain of what we are, we'll be transparent. Chloe nodded, then looked around the cafe they had transformed together. You know what's funny? That first day when you just ordered a coffee, I was at my lowest point, ready to give up on everything. And then you showed up, a curious stranger who actually cared. Sometimes the best beginnings come from the most unlikely places, Ethan said philosophically. And sometimes, Chloe added with a smile, 3 simple words are enough to change everything. What 3 words? Just another day in hell, she repeated the words she had murmured at that first meeting. That's what I muttered when I put your coffee on the table. I thought you hadn't heard. I heard it, Ethan confirmed, and it made me want to understand why. It made me want to change it. For you and for everyone here. She kissed him again, more confidently this time. Thank you for hearing me, for seeing me. In the following months, the Linden Cafe became one of the most sought-after spots in the city. The positive review in the magazine generated a wave of new customers. Chloe had to expand the team, train new chefs, and develop a system to maintain quality as they grew. Ethan supported her every step of the way, investing when necessary but always respecting her autonomy. Their relationship blossomed naturally. They kept their promise to separate the professional from the personal. But the team eventually found out, and instead of judgment, they received support. Everyone saw how happy they were together, how they complemented each other. A year after that first meeting, on a quiet morning before the cafe opened, Ethan surprised Chloe with a proposal. Not for marriage, it was still too soon for that, but for official partnership. I want you to be my partner in the cafe, he said. 50%, because you made this happen. You deserve to own what you created. Chloe, for the first time in a long time, was speechless. But when she finally found her voice, she simply said, I accept. Not for the money or the ownership, but because it symbolizes what we've always wanted. A true partnership. And so the Linden Cafe continued to thrive, not only as a successful business, but as a testament to what happens when talent is recognized, people are valued, and courage is rewarded. Chloe never forgot where she came from, always hiring people who needed a chance just as she had. And Ethan learned that the best investments were not only financial, but human. Sometimes on quiet mornings, when the cafe was empty and the sun streamed through the windows, they would sit together and remember that first day. The mysterious customer and the tired waitress. The 3 murmured words that changed everything. And they would smile, grateful for having found not only professional success, but something much more valuable, each other. The end. Dear listeners, We hope the story of Ethan and Chloe has touched your hearts. If you were moved by this journey of transformation, courage, and love, we have many more stories like this waiting for you. To not miss any of our exciting narratives, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if this story sparked something special in you, leave a like and share in the comments what you enjoyed most. Was it the romance? The professional transformation? The moment everything was revealed? We want to know your opinion. Every day, we bring unique stories that explore the complexities of life, love, and human relationships. Each narrative is carefully crafted to move, inspire, and make you reflect. Join our community of listeners passionate about good stories. Until the next adventure.